Hello everybody, this is going to be just a quick little video overview of Evolutionary History, Chapter 3, Lesson 1. So this is day 1 and day 2 of our NTI. So I will do a quick little overview with you right now, show you where to find things. There is written instructions in the Google Classroom, in your teacher's Google Classroom, on the different portions that you're responsible for doing. And then, like I said, this little video overview. So as we move forward, it's important to either follow along with this or the written instructions. I would recommend both because there's going to be certain circumstances where we're adding things in, cutting things out. Also, there might be some activities, just like there is today, where there is parts you might not be able to do exactly as Amplify tells you to, because maybe you're missing materials or something like that. So we will have a solution for you as we go through. You just got to make sure you're following along. So chapter 3, 3.1. So you will be doing all 4 tabs, but I will walk you through each one real quick and give you a brief overview. Remember, down here in your resources, you do have a glossary and some other tools in case you forgot what words meant or you need a little more support. That stuff is in there. So you are going to do the warm-up. On the warm-up, you will notice that there are 2 evolutionary trees. One here, one down here. Remember, you will have your ancestor population and that will split off. And when you have it split off, that is creating 2 new species. We've talked a lot about this, but usually that involves right here, a change in environment, a new environment, separation of some sort, some reason causing this to happen. And you'll see another one down here. This one split off to 2, and each of these split off to 2 more. And then down here you have some multiple choice questions based on what you observe up above, and you can answer that. Quick reminder, when you're going through Amplify, as always, make sure you are paying attention to see how there's a page 1 and a page 2. Make sure you're thorough and you're doing all parts. Also make sure, I'm just going to click next, that you are handing in stuff once you are done. It's going to be super important, especially now that you're doing stuff without us being face-to-face. Handing in is going to be crucial, so make sure you do that. And all there is on page 2 is a definition, which is related, sharing a common ancestor population. I'm going to show you this really quick. So, a key concept you're learning today is among any 3 species, the 2 species that separated most recently are the most closely related to each other. Very important. Another kind of helpful thing with these videos is you guys remember I have all this extra kind of wording and directions in mine because mine's the teacher version. So there is going to be certain things that you don't have access to, like videos and just different things like that I'll be able to show you on these videos. So it's kind of important to tune into these so I can show you different things that you might not be able to see on your end. And the second activity you are going to do, and this is where we have things get a little tricky. So this activity tells you that you're going to use connects, but you are not because you do not have connects. And you might remember from a few units ago, it's these little pieces right here that we use to build things. But the main idea is that you see A, F, and G down here are blank. You kind of have to make some observations, analyze the different species that they do give you here, and think about what you think these blanks would look like. So looking here at F, what does it look like before? What are the species that look like after? Kind of think about those different factors. Also think about the time up here, 80 million years ago, more to present day, and things like that. So you're going to kind of look at all that and think about what you think it would look like. And then you'll go next. When you're going next, down here, you're going to see that they give you 4 of the species. And you're going to kind of be looking at close relatives and providing evidence to support your thoughts. So you will be able to do that. Quickly, I'm going to show you an example of what could have been a model that you thought about. You can see A, F, and G were those three that you were filling in. And when I say possible model, remember, there's always multiple options of what it could look like. There's no right or wrong necessarily. You're going to just kind of think and analyze and observe what you see coming before. So example right here, one white piece right here, and I noticed that that is a shared structure in both of these other species that came after, which we call descendants, if you remember. Also here, I've noticed that this species has some similarities here, and it also has a piece that is seen in one of the species later on here too. Just some thoughts, kind of a helpful model to look at. And then that is it. Make sure you hand in after you go through and answer these two questions. Then there is a modeling tool for your third activity. So down here, you're going to see that you have a link, which I think I already opened it, but I will close that out. You'll have a link to a modeling tool, and you're going to be able to see the instructions right here. And you're going to see that they want an image of your finished model to go here. So you will go through, and you're going to see our species A, species B, and then 3 blanks. You're going to have to drag and drop these 3 options into where you think they match up here. And remember our key concept, the closer it is to a species, the more similar it's going to be. So what I mean by that is like here, species A, whatever you're going to put here is probably going to be more similar to species A than these two are going to be because of how close this one is in our tree versus this one turned into B, which would then turn into our 2 other options. You also want to make sure that you are clicking and saying whether it's the ancestor or the descendant. And obviously you see here our structures. Remember, if there's an X present, that means that body structure is not there. And you can see a few X's as you look through. And then up here at the top, remember, if you click hand in, that's going to automatically plop it right here. And you don't have to screenshot or upload any of that. It's already there for you. And then the homework is the last thing that you are going to do. There is 2 models in the homework, model 1 and model 2. You have to decide which one you think is correct. And then you have to go down here and explain and back up your pick with some evidence. They give you some vocab words down here to help you, but basically choosing which one you agree with and then explaining why. And you can see there's a page 2, so you want to make sure you click next. And then there is a reading, so it's comparing embryos, evidence for common ancestors. You are going to read that, and you can see right here, I already highlighted, which I'll delete right now. Make sure that you realize down here there are 2 questions that you are answering. And I always tell you a good strategy to use would be to read the questions first. That way, while you're reading, you know exactly what you're looking for. And anything that answers these 2 questions would be a good thing to highlight and annotate. So on that note, remember, you do have access to hear it out loud up here with the little speaker. And like I said, make sure you know you can highlight and annotate. So looking for something important. Let's see. I'm going to look just right here. Comparing embryos shows us that organisms of different species can be very similar. You can highlight it, and then you can make a note on it if you want to type something in. Obviously not a bunch of random stuff like that, but if you want to type something in to help you remember or highlight any key information, and then hand in. When you do hand in, if you highlight and make notes on here, which you should, we will be able to see all of that. It hands in your article, so I'm able to see what you do on it, and if you do make notes or highlights, or if you don't. So make sure you utilize all that stuff, and then once you hand in and you've done all 4 tabs, that is it, and that covers day 1 and 2. If you have any questions, talk to your teachers. And most of us, I think, are going to be available by email, but I'm sure your teacher will specify what they want you to do. But like I said, any questions, if you're confused, not sure, email your teacher. We are here to help you, and that is it for that.